Hey, I'm Shauna, and this is More Good News Only, the show where we celebrate the stories that uplift and inspire and bring us all together every weekday at 10:30 a.m. and then again at 1 p.m. We are recapping the good news only, the feel-good headlines, the inspiring moments in the community, and the local wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So if something good is happening in your world, a personal victory, a community success, a birthday, or just something that made you smile, send me an email. I want to hear about it. Send that email to news25 at week.com and be sure to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I know it's for me. I would love to share your good news right here with everybody on the show. Today's show is full of good news as always. For starters, I wanted to share something that made me smile this morning. So, if you watched the 10:30 show, then you know that this weekend I actually got out the house and did stuff, and that included going to the mall with my sister and her daughter, my 10-year-old niece Talent. So she organized her and her friends a little trip to the mall for the three of them to go shopping for outfits for twin day. It's Spirit Week at their school. So it was one of the days, just twin day. So the three of them, they'll be triplets, I guess, decided to go shopping and dress alike. And we have a visitor. Why? Why doing the show?
That's all I'm gonna say. Now you have to tell them what you did.
What did I do? What did I get? um, so that was a note that Leon wrote a note months ago when we first started this. It was tough trying to just get all this and to figure out how the system worked, and we didn't even know what this was going to be, right? So we're trying to do all that at the same time, figure out what exactly we were doing while trying to figure out what we were doing. And he seemed a little discouraged in me. And I told him to reassure him that I am who I am. Okay. I told him I'll get it. And I said, once I get a thing, I got it. That's one thing about me. It might take me a second to put some processes in order, organize my thoughts and get it in my muscle memory. But once I get a thing, I got it. It's autopilot. So every now and then he likes to remind me of that with the sticky note that he wrote that quote on. So that's what that was about. And we're going to run into needing to take a break. So I will finish in the next, when we come back from break, my story about my niece, because it's the thing that made me smile today. And hopefully it makes you smile. But until then, I'll just well, no, we're going to go to break. So I'm going to wait and tell you that story. But it's the cutest little thing. She is the sweetest little girl when she wants to be. She's always sweet. But to me, she and I are more like sisters and friends. So we have an interesting relationship. I'll tell you more about it when we come back from the break. Welcome back to More Good News Only. So, before the break, I was telling you about something that made me smile in hopes that you will continue to share more with me about what makes you smile. So, long story short, my niece, we went to the mall with her little friends, and she got outfits. They all got outfits for them to share on Twin Day. This morning, and that was a good time. This morning, oh, and then last night I bought her fast food against her mother's wishes. That means something, right? Because then this morning, my sister sent me a picture of a note she'd left me. It was a little Easter egg that she colored at school. She's 10. She colored at school, and on the back of it, the front of it said love, and then on the back of it, it said, "Dear Lala." My nieces and nephews call me Lala because I am much too young to be an aunt. So they call me Lala. And she said, "Dear Lala, thank you for being in my life." And that made me smile. It made me cry. It brought a tear to my eyes because if you know if you know me, you know that my nieces and nephews, for me, no matter where they are in the world, how often I see them, how old they are my children. I am a possessive aunt. They are mine. They're just like my babies. And at Talent, we are happen to be raising her and my daughter, who is 19, but we did our best to raise them close, like sisters, because they're the only two. They're each of them are only children, and well, at least on our side. And so we raise them as sisters, and so we're together with them all the time. And I think it was early back before Christmas sometime this winter. I was telling my sister, we were all in the kitchen cooking, and I told my sister, I said, and Talent was there, and I said, Jill Scott was raised by her mother and grandmother. And she talks a lot about what that experience was, being raised by two strong women. And I said, it's so interesting that Talent and Tay, my daughter, are getting that experience. And I wonder what that's like for them, having that unique experience. And Talent looked up at me. I didn't know she was listening, but she looked up at me with like the most vulnerable look on her face. Like, it was very hopeful. Like, but you could tell that if I said something opposite than what she hoped, it was really gonna crush her. And so she said, "Do you like it? Like, do you like being in my life? Do you like assisting my mom in raising me, my mom, my dad, and like just being a part of my village?" She said, "Do you like it?" And I looked at her and I said, "I love it. I wouldn't rather do anything else. I love every bit of it." And she got the biggest smile on her face that I've ever seen her have. And she walked away satisfied. So it made me remember that, and it touched my heart in the same way today when she left me that note and said, "Thank you for being in my life." And I think it just goes to show how much adults really do mean, how important, how vital just loving the kids that are in your life truly is. It does matter. It has an effect on them. So if you are in a young person's life, I would encourage you, no matter, because me and that little girl bigger, but that's my baby. And no matter how hard it gets, know that your presence is so important in a young person's life. Make sure you let them know that you are happy to be with them. More good news only after the break. Welcome back to more good news only. So let's start with some good news outside of our local area. There is a student who's building a seawater battery, and I thought this was so cool. So, a Florida doctoral student is developing technology that could transform underwater military operations. And this young woman she's so excited, so enthusiastic about what she's doing. Destiny Law is researching a lithium seawater flow battery at FAMU, College of Engineering. And so the design could allow unmanned submarines and underwater vehicles to stay submerged much longer than what they are currently able to do. So, current submarines often need hours or even days to recharge at the surface, which can be dangerous. Law says her battery could shorten recharge times dramatically while delivering more than 10 times the energy of traditional lithium ion batteries. This is her professor who is so excited as well and very supportive of this young woman. After graduating this spring, she will continue her work with Boeing, and this professor is working on a way now to support her in that endeavor, continuing her work. I think that is so cool. Something I would have never ever thought about. I mean, I don't even think about submarines. I mean, not on a regular basis. So I never thought to wonder how or if they even need to be recharged or how they get energy. Again, young people are just such a wealth of knowledge, and I think that comes from just their willingness to explore, their curiosity. What are you curious about? Send me an email to news25 at week.com and let me know what you're curious about. What are your special interests? What are you looking into? What keeps your mind young and full of life? Don't forget to send me that email at news25week.com and make sure you put Hey Shauna in the subject line so I know it's for me. And then also you can follow me at 25 News, Good News Only. And here's more innovation. This is really cool. This reminded me of a SpongeBob SquarePants. This is a boat on wheels. It's a unique creation cruising around Colorado, and it has drivers doing double takes. So, a Pueblo man turned a 1974 boat into a fully functioning car using the chases of a or chassis, sorry, of a 1994 Volvo. Josh Bond, who has spent decades in the marine industry, says the project started as a wild idea. I would have never thought to do this either. So the boat keeps its original paint and features custom work from several local businesses. And while it doesn't float, it definitely turns heads. And Bond says the smiles from people on the road make the project worth it. In this video alone, so many people stopped and asked him if it was real. Like they just couldn't believe it was what they were seeing. They just couldn't believe their eyes. So after a few early questions from police, the boat car is now officially street legal. And the reporter who's riding with him says that it rides just like a car. You wouldn't know any difference in terms of how it rides. So that's pretty cool. I don't know how one would go about that. Um, that's some work, and it's very creative. But definitely, they're just missing a little pineapple, little SpongeBob SquarePants vehicle. So cool, and Patrick, very cool. And next, there now you don't know I don't know anything about sports, but there's a sports story I thought you might be interested in, so I'm going to tell you about it. Now you can tell me what I'm missing in the story or what the stuff means because I have no idea, but I thought y'all might like it. So, this is a high school basketball player who scored 8 points in 19 seconds. So, they're from Iowa, and it's making headlines for an incredible late game performance by this young player. Dallas Center Grimes sophomore Ava Schmid scored 8 points in just 19 seconds during a state semifinal game. Her team was trailing by 6 points with less than a minute remaining when she sparked the comeback. So Smith scored a layup capitalized on turnovers. Have no idea what that means. And I barely know what a layup is. I think I might have an idea what that is, but I don't know what a turnover is. So she capitalized on those though and stole two inbound passes for back to back baskets. Now, I know what a basket is. That means the ball went in, right? Don't know what inbounds passes. That means maybe the foot didn't cross a line and she was able to pass the ball. Is that right? Tell me if I got that right. Send me an email, news25wek.com, and let me know if I have the correct definition or understanding of what an inbound pass is. The dramatic run scored the victory, and the game is now being called the Ava Schmidt game. Look at that. That is so cool. Her team advanced to the Class 4-8 state championship this past Saturday. So congratulations and good job to her. She meant every bit of that. She said we will not lose. And she did that. So congrats to her and her team. And an iconic comic book has gone to the Smithsonian. Have you ever been to the Smithsonian Museum? I have, and it is gorgeous. There's so many things in that museum, and it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's like sometimes I think I dreamed it, but it was really cool. Either way, and they have so much stuff. Like it's just all different kinds of things in there. Very interesting things. Just very diverse items and exhibits there in the Smithsonian to be seen. So if you are ever in the area, especially in Washington, make sure you should put this on your list of stops because it's something unlike anything else I've ever seen at a museum. Your kids really might enjoy it. It's so educational. You could spend the whole day in there and still not get through everything. But they're the two legendary comic books that have helped launch the superhero era, and they are headed to the National Museum. So Action Comics #1, the 1938 issue that introduced Superman, will soon be displayed at the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History. Now, the museum will also showcase Captain America's Comics #1, famous for its cover of the hero punching Adolf Hitler. So that one's going to go. I would say that's a good one to go. The cover was published months before the United States entered World War II, and the museum officials say the comics represent major milestones in American storytelling and pop culture. The Superman issue goes on display in April with the Captain America comic arriving later this year. Such a cool concept, and I definitely agree. These represent some poignant times in history, and I just love that. I love how pop culture really does mark history in a way that is lighthearted but meaningful. It's just what art does, right? So I love that all these years later. I mean, this was in 1938, they say, for this to go on display for future generations. I mean, back then there were no cell phones, there was no social media, and here we are still being able to learn and teach and grow from it, learn and teach our future generations from it. So great job to them. We will have more good news after the break. Welcome back to More Good News Only. And so, speaking of popular culture, take a look at this. So, the Brady Bunch house, one of television's most recognizable homes, is receiving official historic recognition. The house, used for exterior shots in the sitcom The Brady Bunch, has been named a historic cultural monument in Los Angeles. I wonder what the real inside looks like. So, the designation was approved unanimously by the Los Angeles City Council, and the home was featured throughout the show's run from 1969 until 1974. And even decades later, the series continues to reach new audiences through reruns. Fans were recently able to tour the famous house during a special attraction called the Brady Experience. You know, my niece, talent, likes to watch the old shows. Like, she has watched everything from Full House to Martin to Family Matters. Like, she loves all of the 80s and 90s sitcoms. I don't know that she has seen the Brady Bunch. I think I will introduce her to this one. I introduced her to Clueless. Remember that movie? She loved it. Her and my daughter. I think it's one of my daughter's favorite movies. And I think Brady Bunch will be one of those shows that'll be fun to introduce her to. And so finally, I wanted to just tell you about an opportunity with Wendy's if you're interested. So, if you love fast food, a major chain has a job that might be hard to resist. Wendy's is searching nationwide for a chief tasting officer. The position pays $100,000 a year to sample menu items to provide creative feedback. The role also includes creating social media content and tracking new food trends. This would be good for somebody who likes to review food. This also reminds me, and somebody who's like a social media person, this also reminds me of, I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say his name was Michael something. Or no, he did a documentary, and I'll come back tomorrow with actual names because I can't remember his name. But he does all those shocking documentaries. He did one on McDonald's, but he did a lot. And then the guy who ate all the McDonald's as an experiment to see what it would do to his body. Either way, this is not that, to be clear, just reminds me of that. But this would be cool to do, to keep track of the social media trend or the food trends on social media. And you get $100,000 a year for it, sampling items and giving creative food feedback, sort of like a food critic. And the company leaders say the goal is to stay connected with customers and keep the menu innovative. And what better way to incorporate social media and what's happening currently in the industry? Well, that's a wrap for me today. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at WEK.com and let me know what you thought about today's show. In the meantime, don't forget to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I know it's for me. And in the meantime, be sure to check out all of the evening newscasts and meet me back here tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. I'm LaShauna Guy for 25 News. Have a wonderful day.